Hey, welcome everybody to my chess stream here. It's Monday morning. I'm just recovering from my Sunday simul here on lichess and Twitch. Last night we did a 20 board simul, actually 21 board simul. 30-30 time control. It was really pretty fast, but it's always a lot of fun. I still feel like I'm recovering. I still got a headache from that last night. It was pretty tough. I was just thinking, this reminds me of the chat in the chat room. Reminds me that, honestly, you can learn a lot just by watching strong players play. I realize that not everybody enjoys watching. Some people are doers and some people are watchers. But you are here watching my stream, so chances are the people in the stream are, capable of watching and learning. And I think that's something you can do with strong players. Just watching them play blitz and incorporating what they do in their games can be useful. I was just mentioning that it looks like Pop, what's his name? Oh God, there's two Pop grandmasters in Hungary, and one of them is Pop Gabor, but this is another Pop with one P. What's his first name now? Oh my God. Anyways, he's just a really good blitz player, Pop G. We will play anything between 5+3 and 7+3 here in the stream today, which is now called no longer classical chess. What's the cutoff for the rapid chess anyway? Does somebody know for the rapid chess? What are the limits for it to be rapid chess? Anyway, we'll find out here. Blitz is still blitz. I don't think that the qualifications for blitz have changed, I'm guessing. Well, I think you could learn openings there. If you're lazy, Arsenal fan, to study opening theory, you could learn by watching grandmasters and just do what they do. But let's get started. I'm going to play any kind of subscribers that we have here first off. So Troll in a Roll and Morales will be first. Then I've got challenges from GRSA and Trumpowski. I am willing to play 2 Chess 960 games in the course of the stream. We usually play about 10 games per stream, so I don't really want it to be more than, say, 2 of the 10. Troll in a Roll 7+5, 25 minutes is classic, and 8 to 25 is rapid. But what does that mean for a 7+ increment? This counts as, well, it's Chess 960, so that doesn't answer our question. All right, and then even more confusing, I mean, just to be devil's advocate here, but what happens when there's longer Chess 960 games? Then we need another rating for classical Chess 960, right? What's ay. You know what I mean? If you think about it, technically it doesn't make sense the way it's worked out, but what can we do? It seems like every game we have our queens on the diagonal, and I'm always Fianchettoing in Chess 960 against Troll in a Roll. Is it just my imagination, or does this seem to happen every game? It's a hyper accelerated Larsen-esque queen on h1. It's like an Uber Grunfeld after d4 or something. Massive pressure on the diagonal. You're short of time. Maybe you'll watch a little more and cancel the challenge. It's okay, man. No problem. You can cancel or not cancel. I understand if you can't wait. Whatever you guys need to do, go ahead and do it. I've got to take the challenges from the subscribers first. So that would be this one and the game against Morales. An Arsenal fan just joined us. Black is playing a solid. Both these rooks will have potential from c8 and e8. Black's king's in the center of the board. Obviously mine is too. I'm just discussing it from the perspective of moi. The black king is there on d8. So he doesn't want to open it up too much. Arsenal fan borrowed a book from his library. God, it's been a while since I did that. called FCO. What the heck is FCO? I know ECO and John Nunn created NCO. And there was MCO, which is modern chess openings. But I don't know what is FCO. Fundamental chess openings. Sounds like somebody came up with an idea for a new opening encyclopedia. Since the last time I bought any books. That's another interpretation. Mubach is not doing his job here. I'm not concerned with the F word. It's just, it's funny though that Mubach doesn't care if you say like concretely bad words. I wouldn't really test it, but I guess I just didn't set it for that. I assumed that it like automatically did that. But thank you for demonstrating, Morales. Bishop E7. All right, well, we got everything. I like the way we're set up actually better than Troll on a roll here. We got a really fluid double fianchetto. The rooks are in the center. Having the first move advantage seems useful. Where's all the mods? All the mods. Damn, dude, I can't afford multiple mods. You know, I can only pay them so much. Knight F6. All right. It seems like I should be opening this position up, but first of all, we'll castle. It reminds me of normal chess now, just with the queen on H8. I actually robbed myself of the ability to play D4, which I did have last move. It's really, really cold here. I had to close the window. It's like freezing. Yesterday was like 1 degree Celsius. It means something else in Spanish. Pretty much the same. All right. I don't know. It seems like I should be trying to play D4. He should be trying to play D5, I guess. Surprising how there's nothing else to do. E3 looks slow. I guess I could play E4. Seems like a weird move. The knight is really bottling up my bishop. Man, I don't know. Troll's playing pretty fast here. Just thinking, is there any kind of maneuvers I could try, like knight e1 or something, you know, to open up my bishops on the diagonal? Basically nothing. The thing that bothers me here is that if I play e3, he plays d5. And I guess there I play d4. Now what happens if I get hanging pawns? It's very likely to happen. We got snow there. Well, I guess GRSA, man, you're not that far from me. GRSA, man, what game from last Tuesday tournament, King H8? You know, you're ringing a bell, but I don't remember now. Queen H7 is a good move. Looks like. Try to get the queen in play. May I have to use our knight e1 maneuver. Black's not so bad here. I think that Troll plays the opening really, really well in Chess 960. We've discussed this before. He's kind of lazy tactically. He doesn't calculate very much. And so, you know, eventually he usually makes some kind of tactical mistake. But as far as like knowing where to put the pieces and playing like principled chess in the opening stage, he's like excellent. Yeah, I can't remember GRSA, man. You'll experience the same thing in about 20 years. Let's see, knight to b4, heading for this square anyway. But honestly, alright, I was considering this move, like, as I said, ages ago. It's useful anyway to clear the diagonal. Very Karpovian. Well, I guess I might as well exchange on a8 and put that guy on a8 where he's less effective than c8. Black has achieved something, you know, in kind of weakening my king side a little bit by trading off the fianchettoed bishop, I think. So it's pretty equal. Looks like a typical hedgehog. Can never even play d4. I don't like taking back with a pawn. I mean, I could play it take back with a rook. But he can answer with like d5. It's like ridiculous. He's like equal here. I mean, kicking him back to c6 doesn't seem to help me. Maybe if I played a3, I just weaken my structure. Unqualified, nothing for white. Nothing at all. 0. Whew. 0 advantage, and he's got 5 minutes to my 2 minutes here. I've got to actually be a little bit careful. I mean, I could take back with the pawn, but it leaves my bishop on a1, blocked by my own pawn. I mean, that's not good. I'm disappointed. I thought that the initial like 5 or 7 moves, I was actually better with a double fianchetto, and it just turns out that I have nothing. I don't know what I could have done differently. I could have played d4 like instead of castling, maybe. If I had broken the tension first, I wonder. If I had gone here like right off the bat, what kind of effect would that have had on the game, you know? He probably has to take twice. Oh, I can't play d4. What am I talking about? You know, I've done that before where I thought this was my queen on d1. Never mind. I don't know. I can never play d4. Not having advantage is not that bad. I know. I get that a lot. Yesterday in my tournament game, I offered a draw. I was so disgusted with like playing this knight f3, g3 for the last time. I'm so sick of it. But I made a big mistake allowing my opponent to like trade queens. I didn't think the guy would like start vacuuming the pieces off the board. I've seen like some of his games, and he's basically like kind of a fighting player. So I didn't think he was gonna like just jump at the first opportunity to trade queens and start trading off all the pieces, and he started to do it like immediately. I was like, damn, this sucks. I think I really had to make a conscious effort to identify players who were going to play for a draw and then try to like keep all the pieces on the board against them, you know, in tournament play I'm talking about, because it seems like if people are like even 50 rating points below you, they start just concretely playing for a draw. I've got to play e4 and d4 and c4, maybe c4, you know, but even c4 is pretty lame, to be honest. You really need to play e4 and d4 to get an advantage, or at least, you know, pretend to play for an advantage. I mean, it seems like knight f3 and c4 are just like safe moves that don't offer anything, but you're probably equal, you know. It's fine if you're playing a much weaker player to play, you know, and you can see millions of games where like Kramnik played knight f3, but even he doesn't get anything against the strongest players. objectively, the first move has to be e4 or d4. c4 is sort of the same as knight f3. You're probably like allowing black to equalize with perfect play. Even not so perfect, maybe. The thing is that knight f3 transposes to a lot of d4 games, but in situations where you can't play as aggressively as you would like to, you can't move your f-pawn, for example. You can't play the same-ish variation of the King's Indian. You can't play the four pawns attack. You can't play the f3 Nimzo. You know, there's like a lot of systems, f3 in the Benko. There's a lot of systems that if you play knight f3 with on move 1, you're like handicapping yourself. You can't play the most aggressive lines in the d4 games. So I should have played e4 yesterday, and the guy actually plays the accelerated dragon, which I actually know really well with black, so it would have been fine for me. Now Troll burned a lot of time. Structurally, I'm a tiny bit better because he's backward along the d file here. This pressure. You know, some people, you might argue that, oh, he's got a central pawn majority in some sense, but that's not really that relevant here. All right, dude, Mr. Troll. He's avoiding the exchange of queens, which may or may not be the right decision. This rook on c1 looks like not really clear what it's doing. If he tries to break with d5, he has all kinds of problems with e4 and a3. So it's not that easy for him to free himself. When you face this kind of c4 pawn, I mean, you're normally playing for hedgehog type of breaks with black with d5 and b5, but it's hard to get that in. So it's slightly unpleasant for him. I wouldn't mind trading queens here if I have some kind of static advantage. Deepak DK asks, can I challenge for a classical game? Well, not really classical. Now we're calling it rapid, so anything up to this 7+3 time control. I make an exception for the chess 960 to allow 7+5. The longest time control I'm going to play is the 7+5 in chess 960, which Troll knows about, and it's kind of a secret time control I'll allow just in chess 960, and 7+3 in regular chess. So it's not called classical, it's called like rapid, I guess. Trying to focus here. Knight on b4. I don't know why my bishop's on a1 anyway. White has a tiny advantage. Tiny but lasting. It's about 0.3. The computer thinks it's 0.9, 0.8. Wow. He's really paralyzed along the d file. I'm surprised. It looks like, you know, that's like the engine is saying he's basically down a pawn here. That's how bad his positional disadvantage is. I don't think it was that bad. All right. Rabid is rapid. I know. That's awesome. It's funny. The turtle is slow. Good idea. So Morales is next. Then I'm going to play any other subscribers in the list. You know, funny, Arsenal fan, I didn't even consider bishop takes f6. Wait, what are you talking about? What bishop takes f6? Oh, knight b5. Okay, now I understand. Yeah, that could happen. I'm not really, you know, I don't have any issues with winning a pawn. If I have to trade my dark square bishop, that might not be a big deal for me to give up the bishop there. Yeah, definitely Arsenal. Knight b5 is an idea, as long as I've got enough control of the center and he doesn't get in like d5 or something. So, just talking about, I'm sick of playing knight f3. I mean, the problem is if you play knight f3, you like either transpose to c4 or you end up playing a kind of quiet version of d4. You know, there doesn't seem to be any real great benefit of playing knight f3. A lot of people are less well prepared at the lower levels in their opening repertoire. But once you start playing strong masters, they're absolutely prepared for everything, including knight f3 and c4. Deepak says, I challenge you, hope you will play me after this game. Deepak, there's a list of players who are challenging me, and first of all, I play the people who are paid subscribers to the stream, and then I play the people who are here first. So you can't just like show up and expect to play first. That's not how it works. Knight to c6. Let's see here. So the g5 is a really it's a really aggressive move played by Mamadjarov, most recently Jabava, I think. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very weakening. Somebody played that against me like 2 weeks ago. So I've got challenges. I'm going to play Arsenal Fan next. He's a subscriber. Then these guys, in order of the people who challenged me, we keep like an organized system to it. Knight c6, knight f3. This is actually a main line. Although, I'm not sure about the move order here for black. If he's supposed to play bishop b4 check first, or if he's supposed to play knight c6, I guess knight c6 is right. Structurally, many positions are similar. Do you think the Nimzo Queen's Indian would suit my style? Well, I mean, the thing about the Nimzo Indian is, in my opinion, you know, it's very versatile. Like, you don't commit the pawns early on. So, I mean, I really think there's a lot of room for stylistic, you know, divergences when you play something like that where your pawns aren't committed in the early going. I mean, for an ultra classical player, it wouldn't suit their style. They don't have a pawn like in the center of the board. But other than that, I think the Nimzo is flexible. It can work for anybody. Did you see any games from the Russian Championship? Wait, troll. I didn't see the Russian Championship was even going on. I did not. That would be good to know about. Well, certainly more interesting than the London Chess Classic. The London Draw Classic. See, the problem with the London Chess Classic, I guess, it's not really like a qualification for anything. I mean, it's not like they're battling their brains out for like a spot to the World Championship Candidates Tournament or something. They're not that motivated to play for a win, it seems like. Why do everyone change knights there? Exchange knights on e5? Well, I exchanged knights on e5 there because, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't see any benefit in letting you take on f3. It'll just drag, like, my bishop out to f3, then you can just hit it again with knight e5 and I have to go back. So I don't think that it really matters. It's just simpler to do it that way. But I thought that was the main line. Queen a4 check, knight c6 doesn't really achieve anything, I guess. So I just assumed this was the main variation, but in fact, I'm not sure. Maybe black castles. You did this against me once before. Where was it, Morales? Like in a simul or something? I didn't really like the way it went down. Some kind of weird system you've come up with here. Now I kind of wish I had played like Queen A4 check. We had this in a simul game or something. Guvan Kurt, well, 2 weeks ago when I was talking about ambulances and sirens and stuff, it turns out that the Chinese Prime Minister was here that day. So like all kinds of things were cordoned off, and I'm sure like lots of crazy diplomatic stuff was going on. Not just ambulances, sometimes like these like ambassador cars use the sirens. Could have been that. But I just closed the window because it's like freezing outside. That's the main reason why you don't hear anything. Alright, I don't know. We had this once before, and it seemed like black got a pretty good game. Maybe I just misplayed it. It's an unusual plan, Morales, what you do. You know, trying to castle queenside here. I mean, I think mostly they castle kingside and play like b6, bishop b7, and then have a kind of solid structure. I've seen like Yermolinsky play like, was it Yermolinsky I saw play like that, I think, with black? I don't know. He's a solid player. The Terrace Karut, yeah, Terrace Karut is not that far. But I mean, on the Karut you're gonna get all kinds of noises. I mean, it's just crazy there. Especially the drunken British tourists, right? Arsenal fan? Chanting football songs? That's the worst. Just absolutely drove me nuts. British bachelor party guys at like 4 o'clock in the morning singing football songs. Alright, Arsenal fan, what do we think about this? He's castling queenside again. We did face this once before. It is surprisingly difficult to get at the black king there. I mean, I could throw my queen out here, but what does it do? As I said, it's usual for black to put the king on g8. It seems that Morales has his own ideas here, which is cool. He can throw his kingside pawns too, with like g5, etc. And how should I meet that? Alright, I'm just like running out of time. Holy moly. There was an Australian player, Alex Wool. They called him Holy Woolly. Troll, what are you talking about? Man, I had to give him the timeout. All right. What is he even thinking? Triple exclam. What? This doesn't work, damn it. Or does it work? I don't know, but I'm running out of time, so I better do something fast. Better to do something fast than than just lose on time. Tricks don't always work, but this might work. I don't know. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Obviously, it's always dangerous to take pawns in front of our own king, but we've got to do something here. 38, 40, 41 seconds left. The ultimate. My bishops should do a decent job of protecting my king, I think, along the G file. Well, I think I have to. It's not a matter of having balls. It was that or lose a pawn, and I'm not really excited to lose a pawn for nothing, so just a matter of practicality here. Don't I win an exchange now? No, I guess not. Not exactly, no. But at least we can maybe get out of the woods and make sure nothing bad is going to happen. He actually had Queen F8 there, not losing material. B2's protected. I like my position now. For better or for worse, I guess he had to play Queen F8. Six plus 3. I feel like with the 3-second increment, I'm not prone to losing on time. With the 2-second increment, I just flag when I misfire on the mouse one time or something like that. Oh man, leave me alone. That's a good move, 95. Seems like he's playing much faster than me. Right. It's a strong knight on e5, admittedly. He's got an exchange and a pawn. But it's kind of hard to shake his pieces away from without playing f4, which I may very well have to play. I was kind of trying to do without it, you know. But now with my king on h2, I'm much more likely to play f4. Thanks for watching, everyone. Tomorrow night we have a viewer tournament, 7+2 Rabid here on lichess. 7 p.m. Tuesday night CET. All right, man. Let's see. So, does anybody ever dare to castle queenside? Does anybody ever dare to castle queenside here? Nobody can't play queen a4 check. It's strange. I mean, this seems like kind of a useful move. Maybe drawing the knight back to c6. Castles. So bishop d7. I was not aware of this variation till Mule Skinner. Morales played it against me. Mule Skinner is another subscriber. Starting with an M. It's the vast majority of players here. You know, there's some weird moves like knight b3. I'm thinking he might play bishop a4. There's an actual game that went like this from 2016. It's quite interesting stuff. So I need a little more time to think about it. I played a3. It looks like this is what everybody did. Ivan Chuk played this way back in 1991. Man, nobody's had the guts to do that. Just Morales. None of these other games went castles queenside. It looks like they like to wait and see, but it's playable. Why not? So queen c3. I played queen d4. He could play c5 here. Maybe he should. All right, guys. Let's go on to the next challenge. All right, dude. All right. We lost Arsenal fan. Arsenal fan, did you pull your challenge? Intentionally, or did you just like lose your challenge somehow? Anyway, I usually play the subscribers first, but Arsenal fan is missing now. We're going to play this game with GRSA. He's next in line. Very suspiciously low rating. Seems much better than 1300. Well, I don't know. It's like, I know, like I was talking about Morales, I've seen some solid players play like b6 and castle king side. Very safe way to play, but not as exciting, I guess, as castle and queen side, which no one has dared to do. But interesting. You know, I wouldn't do it in a tournament game probably, but it's fun for blitz and, you know, quote unquote rapid. I mean, I'm sure you can beat some weaker players very easily. I've always been afraid to play the main lines of the Najdorf because I don't know that much theory, but okay, now we can transpose to the Perenni variation with g4. It's like not the only move though. Obviously f3 is normal too. It's very similar to Akira's attack, except I've spent time on the move f3. I've played tons and tons of games with black in these types of positions. Even scarier than this. But already you can see, like, GRSA is not really 1396. 1396 don't play the black side of the English attack. They don't even know what this is. Anyway, one of the most topical openings in chess, probably, the Najdorf bishop e3 variations, which have been codenamed the English attack. Probably one of the biggest theoretical areas of opening work in the last 20 years. Theory has developed here massively, you know, since like 1990 or so, when this stuff started getting really, for the first time, started really getting popular. It used to be that bishop g5 against the Najdorf was the main line, and that's still popular today. But okay, now I guess we'll just go with all the pawns. Gladys Troll, just testing. Oh, I missed knight c6. Am I supposed to play that there? I guess I'm supposed to do that. That would have been better. You see, this is why GRSA is lost in this position. He has knight c6 and I could just take on d6. Oh man, that's stupid. Well, that just goes to show that I don't normally play this line. Yeah. I'm still going to take the pawn. His dark squares kind of collapse. Yeah, I was thinking of a new... I don't know what the rules are, though, for timeouts. Like, I have to figure this out. Rather than ever, like... just as a joke, I was thinking instead of, like, banning people from my stream, I would just time them out for, like... I don't know, like 1,000,000 minutes or something. And see if it's possible. Just theoretically, is there a maximum to how long I can time someone out? I'm wondering. Okay, let's not mess around here. I want to connect my rooks, so... if I play g5, he puts his knight on h5, and that's sometimes not so bad. So I'm just wondering if I can do an unlimited amount of minutes for the timeouts. Rather than actually banning someone, it would be funny to time them out for like 364 days or something like that. Is black threatening anything? Well, I guess I don't really want to see b4. Is the Najdorf really that hard to play against? No, I mean, I don't think it's that. I think it's just incredibly popular because it's very flexible. Because Bobby Fischer played it, because Kasparov played it. I'm not sure that it's better than any of the other main lines of the Sicilian, necessarily. But it does seem very resilient. Yeah, I don't want to have like capital punishment on my stream. Not actually banning anyone, just timing them out for a few years. On h to d1. Exactly. So GRSA just also doesn't know the theory well enough. Allowing knight c6 is just a massive blunder. So here, well, I was going to go back and show you this position, guys. The stronger players obviously know this, but here. He can't allow this like to come in and fork him and hit the queen and bishop, so it looks like in this kind of position he probably has to play bishop b7 or queen c7 to stop the incursion. Still not that hard to break it down. Easy, I mean. What could I do that's relevant here? He's threatening knight e6 and not really sure I want to let his knight in. Bishop g5, knight e6. He has a cure for everything. This move seems to deny all of my possible threats at the same time. Like I can't do anything. I guess we could play this or something. Just simply prevent him from moving the knight on f8. I don't have to take any great risks because I'm just up a pawn for nothing, and that's something that people need to learn. A lot of times I see even grandmasters do this stuff where they basically like go crazy. I mean, you're up a pawn for nothing, and then to like try to checkmate the guy and fail and like lose. I saw a game where David Navarro did that against like Wei Yi, where he was just like up a pawn for nothing in the opening, and could just like play safely. Instead he went berserk with this like massive kingside attack and then failed and lost. You know, you've got to ask, like, why would you like take these risks that are, you know, associated with this, with a very violent like double-edged attack when you're just up a pawn for nothing? You know, that seems irrational to me. It's very important to be like practical and rational. If we're talking about not a fun game online, but if we're talking about like a tournament game, I mean, now we're going to freeze these pawns and try to break them up and create a pass pawn on the queen side. Cryogenic pawn structure. Lessons in cryogenics. Pawn structure cryogenics. Maybe I can break the other way with c4 actually. That might be better. Being more patient here and trying to play for c4. Maybe it doesn't matter that much. I'm eventually going to create a pass pawn, hopefully use it to win the game. But GRSA playing very well, other than the one mistake. One itty bitty mistake in the opening. Well, not an itty bitty mistake, it was actually a sizable error, but the electric ran out. You're on a battery there? Like the Isle of Man. You have like coal power. Alright. Someone was talking about knight c5. It certainly would be okay to trade a set of pieces here, I think. Let's improve the old king. He's got very big weaknesses on the dark squares with no dark squared bishop. If my bishop could get in on the dark squares and like attack these pawns from behind. But I can't play bishop f8 at the moment anyway. It's not that easy. It's just a matter of time, really. My king's sort of like an extra piece almost. My king is so powerful here. But there's that plan I was talking about. He can stop it pretty easily though. I think the more important danger is just a matter of me just controlling squares and just queening this directly. I mean, that's going to be hard for him to stop. This looks like a mouse slip. It's not a mouse slip, it's a trick. Alright. He doesn't want to do a take back. That's the problem with the fly in your ointment. That I can do that and take this. Just take on b6 first. You're on a meter. Zugzwang. Zugzwang. Alright, this is over. I played bishop e3 against World Loser yesterday too. He was like, oh, William finally played e4 against me. Okay, like I haven't been playing e4 as much lately, but I have played e4 many times here. But against the Najdorf, I realized, I don't know, I'm not that happy with bishop c4, which I've been playing a lot. And I was actually teaching it, like, you know, how to play the white side of the Sicilian to a beginner last week, and I was saying about bishop e3, and I was thinking maybe I should play bishop e3 myself. It's probably just a really good move, and, you know, forget the fact that it's so fashionable. I should just play it because it's like one of white's best moves, you know. I've always just kind of avoided openings that were fashion because there's a danger that people out-memorize you in theory. Alright, Nabil, Alex, Save a Dog, Arsenal fan came back. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the power. Maybe the bishop and knight. I will do like really mean things to people. I try not to do that, you know, here on lichess since I've become a streamer, but Even so, when I get really irritated with people who won't resign, I do. And I have done that in tournament games too. Under promote, you know, disrespectful people who just don't resign. I mean, an online blitz game is one thing, but like I've had people not resign, like down a queen in tournament games, you know, and just play on and on. Little kids who just don't know any better, or adults who are ignorant. I'll just like, yeah, I'll like promote 3 queens or under promote. I had fun with it. Arsenal fan is playing the Dutch. This is a new opening. You've been hanging out with Simon Williams again. Whoa, uh-oh, I just spilled water. Stupid water bottle. Alright. What am I going to do? Okay. We have a solution for the problem. A stupid water bottle is like one of those really new water bottles that's like super full. And it just like blurted out all this water on my desk. All right, Rich. Fortunately, the laptop was relatively spared. So, yeah, yesterday our first board played black in a Dutch. Huang Trang is the highest rated Hungarian woman since the Polgar lady Judith doesn't play anymore. We have a Vietnamese-Hungarian grandmaster for our first board on my team. And Huang Trang always plays the Dutch. We had some battles of our own. Yesterday she played the Dutch with black against a solid FM. No, I am. And it was a draw. But our Huang Trang plays G6. Arsenal fan is playing the Simon Williams special here. Well, against this, I feel like white has less options. Against the Leningrad, we can do stuff like knight h3 and really aggressively try to attack, but against the so-called classical Dutch or Stonewall, I feel like we have to play in a more traditional way. c4. It's hard to play any other setup here. I mean, I don't know. You could play knight f3 first. I don't think it has any special independent value. Why masters play e4 instead of d4? Masters play both. The best players play both, I think. c6, kind of an unusual move order. That's fine, you just transpose to a Stonewall. Or you can play some weird d6 where you've played c6 without any real reason, I guess. I don't think it's that simple. I mean, I think they're just different. I don't agree that like e4 is tactical and d4 is strategic. There may be more games that feel that way, but it really depends. You can have certain variations of the queen pawn openings, like the semi-Slav Botvinnik variation, which is way more tactical than most e4 games. And some lines of e4 are just like extremely positional, like in certain lines of the Spanish. So it's not like you can just say it's black and white like that. I don't really agree. Not to be a naysayer, but it's just not that simple. I enjoy playing both e4 and d4. It gets boring to play just one move. Arsenal fan, the man of many openings. 1900. 1900. He's 1900 in bunny chess. 1800 in fire and 1600 in lightning. You're 1900 in turtle chess. equally good at turtle and rabbit. How can you counter the d4, e3, f4? Well, you try to break it up. If someone plays like my first opening was the stonewall attack, which wasn't very successful, by the way, I think you should try to hit it and break it with like c5 and d6. If someone plays like d4, e3, f4 against me and I'm black, I would want to play probably a kingside fianchetto and c5 and d6. Try to crack the pawn chain with breaks. You want to destroy it. It's kind of brittle, you know, when you have a stonewall type of formation. Okay, now we have some kind of slightly unusual, I guess, rook e1 here, huh? Well, he can play d5. So I guess all the moves are possible. Queen c2, rook e1, rook e1, d5, and then I don't think that my rook is very well placed on e1. But whereas queen c2 is useful no matter what he does. The recommended stonewall Dutch lines are usually played with like bishop d6, but it's not so bad with the bishop on e7. I don't know if he's planning on playing d5 now, like a tempo down, to stop e4. Apparently not. This normally runs into problems with the e6 pawn. I could play b3. But after b3, d5. So I really feel like I have to go now. And knight g5, knight b6 doesn't seem to quite cut it. So I guess we have to play e4. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's just like challenging the opening. If you can achieve e4 against the Dutch defense, or if someone plays f4 against you, and you're black, and you can achieve e5, then you've kind of like called their entire opening into question, I think. White achieving e4 against the Dutch calls the opening into question. Can we say that, like, if you play the Stoughton Gambit, though, that's the case? Let's say, like, d4, f5, e4. No, because this is a gambit. I mean, we didn't get the pawn back. But here I control the e4 square. I have won the battle for e4. So I think that white has a concrete advantage, and black's opening is a minor fail. Maybe not lost, but I think he's lost the battle. He may not have lost the war yet, but as long as I gain control of this square, black's opening is kind of dubious. He was staking out that square on move 1. I mean, he's lost it. It's a key central point. I own d4 and e4. I mean, if this is Monopoly, I'm in good shape. You know, we've got Boardwalk and Park Place, and we've got good control of some green sort of properties as well. Yeah, now the e6 square looks like it's going southward bound. It's the key point in the Dutch that becomes very weak. If only I could decoy this knight on f6 somehow. It's a little difficult to attack him. Now he cannot protect this properly. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and joining our stream today. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing a stream where I hold and host a viewer tournament here on lichess and Twitch, 7 p.m. Central European Time. 7+2 Rabid. Good move, Arsenal fan. I thought this was your best chance. Maybe not. I take it back. Maybe it's not a good move. I do have c5. Now life will become more awkward. Yeah, at first I thought it was the best move too. I mean, I guess there just isn't a good move for black here. You just don't have a good move, really. I mean, what do I expect them to play? But I thought that d5 was a good try, because if I play knight takes e6, yeah, actually, I mean, I almost have to play c5. Yeah, this is something black can do here. I don't know. It's not good. If knight c4, b3, he's going to have to put his knight on a5, which is really bad. I mean, I guess he could try. This is a disaster. Yeah. All right, that's a reasonable try, but I think we'll just not and say we did. Wait a minute, why don't I take on e6? I was going to play knight h3. I mean, it's actually also probably not a bad move, but this is more to the point. It's a big learning curve, the Dutch, man, so don't expect to learn to play the Dutch quickly. You're going to get pummeled a lot of games before you get the hang of it. I think it's hard to learn. But the guys who did learn it and are very good with it, they tend to end up playing it for the rest of their careers. I've noticed. Spinal Tap, what's up, man? International Master Spinal Tap Chess. Now, we've got any immediate wins? Queen g6 looks pretty nice. We got some threats. I was thinking just chopping on h6. Chop, chop. There's also knight f5. I was thinking queen e8, bishop takes h6. He's still got some tricks left up his sleeve. Not too many, but now that knight takes f8, he actually gains material. My original intention was to play rook takes e7. I don't know why I'm having second thoughts about that. It looks adequate. So I'm only up 2 pawns at the end of the day. I guess I could have played knight takes check, king f7, rook on a to e1 as well. All right, man. Keep up the Dutch. Keep trying. It's going to take a while to get the hang of it. Nabil is next, then Alex and Maluta. If you guys are subscribers to my stream, I much appreciate it. But Arsenal fan, you can be sure that anybody who started to play the Dutch takes a lot of beatings in the beginning. And even in the end. But I'm sure there's a lot of exciting wins in there, too, in the career of a Dutch defense player. Lots of ideas. I decided to play c5, something new and totally different. I think if you're a Sicilian player, it's easy to play like c5 against the English and knight f3. The downside is that c4, c5, they can be kind of dry and actually pretty boring. So what? He's doing a possible delayed dunst opening. Don't see too many people play knight f3, c5, knight c3. But I think I had a game the other day, maybe against him, where he played this and then did like d5, e3, and I wasn't sure what to do. I'm not sure if I like the two knights tango with colors reversed that much. I guess knight c6 is fine. I've seen people do weird move orders like that, Arsenal fan. But I don't know, you've got to really be precise. Now I guess I'm supposed to play d5. Might not be that bad for you though. Yeah, this is weird. I mean, d5, e4. Pawn takes e4. Probably not bad for white. This is definitely in the dunst opening books. We'll just let him transpose to the Sicilian. Now he did e3, which is not really dangerous. This bishop is a problem. I'm playing the Sicilian, he's playing e3 with bishop d2. We're on different planes of existence here. It's not good for white to have not played e4 probably. But I guess he didn't want to transpose to a normal opening. Threatening my c6 pawn again. Hey Antonio, take care, man. Thanks for being a subscriber and for the good game today. To take a look at that Budapest gambit. Alright. This is a tough call. Safer to take with the bishop. Otherwise I have a bad piece. Although I don't really like trading pieces against lower rated opponents who I'm supposed to beat. Trading pieces, I think, makes it harder to win the game in most cases. Less material to put to use. Yesterday in my tournament game, I fell victim to this actually. My opponent just quickly traded queens and was going to trade another pair of pieces. And immediately I regretted allowing him to do that. Now e4, and suddenly black is like questioning whether I did something wrong, you know? It feels like I've got no advantage now. Huh. This is tricky. Looks like white is still okay. e4 is an excellent move. He shouldn't have put it on e3 in the first place. Maybe there he should play knight d5 while he still had time. The problem is that now he's... Actually, h3 is a good move. Highly positional move, stopping me from accessing the g4 square. This is a small mistake. It's amazing, though, how hard it is to maintain an advantage here. I don't have too much. I'm playing kind of risklessly, not creating any weaknesses. If I had... Man, he's not giving me time. Another good move. That's weird. I mean, he plays queen e3, queen d3, queen f3, every kind of move, like, in a row. And I still don't have anything. Maybe now queen c7. Ironically. I want this queen to go to b7. And I'm actually thinking about exchange sacrifices on c3. My queen b7 will step out of the way of this knight to d5 threat. Be on a good square. And then we can start thinking about pressurizing this pawn, maybe a knight maneuver in there, knight d7, knight e5, knight c4. Now it's starting to look promising, because I have several different paths for the knight to get active. Ideally into c4. Now my assumption here was that I could play knight e5 and take on c2. Maybe as some kind of counter trick. What's up, Railbird80? Queen b3. What's that about? He's going to trap my rook on c2 with that move. That's pretty hard to find. Oh my gosh. I'm going to change. So rook takes c2, knight. Rook takes c2, knight c3 traps my rook. Damn, dude, that's pretty hard to find with like no time. I would have put my queen on g3 or something, to be perfectly honest. Wow. What a dynamic player. He's able to find excellent positional moves and threats at the same time very quickly. He's only 2,000. Damn. It's weird how he's pieced together this position. Now his knight is almost trapped though. Still don't have anything clear. I didn't even see that move. It's ridiculous. I saw it before and then I forgot about it. I was only looking at knight f4. Okay, the central pawn is just too important. Now his structure is compromised. Black is only a tiny bit better. Sees everything. So fast too. What is he like in bullet? Really high? 2075. Damn, dude. I mean, black's like clearly better here, but I really had a hard time keeping up with all of his threats. Constantly like finding defenses and attacks that I was not even aware of. Finds a way to like triple on the F file. Where did that even come from? And he's super fast too. All right, now I finally made a mistake. This pawn majority has got to be winning for me. Alright, tough game. Now Alex Mackin and Simba, I don't play rated on the stream, dude. I'm not sure if he pays attention. Alex Machine. Good morning, you ate a McDonald's cheeseburger. 2 Big Macs, 2 filet of fish, and a vanilla milkshake. Knight f3. Alright, I'm going to play e4. I went to McDonald's yesterday morning, had a breakfast sandwich. Pretty pathetic. the French defense I really, I honestly struggle with. Alright. So, classical, I actually like the classical variation though. I feel more comfortable. The winnower is what gives me big problems. Playing the winnower just always seems like extremely confusing to me. I always feel there's something wrong about eating burgers for breakfast. I can see your shame. I can emphasize with the shame, Bob. Speaking of Bob, what happened to our other Bob? I haven't seen Bob in a long time, one of our subscribers. This variation is trending in the last years. Playing a6 and b5 seems to have overtaken other lines as black's main line. As far as theory goes, I don't know. You know, there are actually different ways for white to play here, I guess. Well, we have to watch out for the pawn fork, okay? But I don't necessarily want to commit my king to castle and queen side in this line where he's advancing his pawns with b5. So, what else can we do? Queen f2, I think, is a move. Though it feels a little slow. I suppose just bishop e2. I don't see anything wrong with it. Planning on castling kingside. I don't want to get outstripped in development. My knight can actually drop back to d1 in these type of positions. I don't know too much about Alex. I think we played just one or two games, but not really recent games I can remember. This looks like Black's pretty active here. I'm not sure what I did is right, you know. I don't know the theory well enough. Like everything else I do when I'm playing e4, I don't study the theory that deeply with e4, so if I had another lifetime, I would know it really well. Shelled a couple bucks for an egg sandwich from McDonald's. That is scary. Here in Budapest, they have this new automated like display where you can order from at McDonald's. Can I do queen e3 here? Is there any kind of trick he can do? I think there probably is. There may be some really perverse trick here. Queen e3, d4, knight takes d4. And then some discovery. Oh god, like knight a4. I don't know. Queen e3, b4. That's not a problem, is it? Let's say king h1, b4, knight e4, b4, knight d1, knight e4, queen e3. I feel like I'm playing Verusian Akobian. The last game I had with him on ICC, it was a classical French where I was better, but I lost in the ending. Queen e3. Does this have any kind of problem? Well, it's like a question, can he do d4? Can he do like b4, knight d1, d4? That doesn't work for him. Alright. Damn, dude. I think I had already clicked on the E3 square, so when I clicked my queen, it just like removed me to E3. It's all about convenience, Bob. So, I don't think this is the most aggressive setup I could play with the bishop E2. I'm going to check after the game. I have my doubts about bishop E2. I think I played queen F2 in an earlier game. You know, and in retrospect, it seems like I should do that first. Just a question of how time consuming it is. Okay, so I'm not afraid of D4. There's B4, which is kind of a pain. B4 B4 knight D1. When my knight is bouncing over here. World champion Steinitz was a believer in this square, the D4 square. Steinitzian strategy is when you like blockade this D4 square. I mean, people call it Steinitzian, but actually, I mean, it's really nothing more than Nimzovich's strategy. Trading the central pawns to get outpost squares. You learned to play the French from Akobian on YouTube. He's very good at in-game technique. I never lost against Varuzhin in the tournament game. We had a couple draws. He's a very, very solid player. Alright. I'm a little surprised how high rated he is. You know, I never thought he was really dynamic enough to be over 2600, but who knows? Anything's possible. His technique is excellent in the endgame. Knight D1. And this is just basically looks like very standard strategy for black. A5. I can think about bishop D3 maybe. This knight on D1. It is protecting my B2 pawn, but I guess that's not under threat at the moment. I don't like the tactics here, you know, presented by that diagonal. And anyway, the knight on D1 is interfering with my coordination. Black is equal here. I mean, there's no question. I don't have an advantage, but I don't think I'm worse either. So it's a game pretty typical for this variation. We got the E4 square under surveillance. We could chip away on the queen side with like A3, but I don't know. I think I'm just helping him if I do. I feel like I'm just helping him if I do that, actually. He has knight. No, but at this point, I mean, the knight A4 might start to be a serious problem. I guess I can play knight D3 there. What's my plan here? Playing on the king side? Trying to play like F5? Running out of time. Either's Perpetuo. Haven't seen you in a while. .3D board in pieces. I used to like doing that, but I mean, I just, you know, felt like most people don't like it. So I never really used them here on ICC. I have used 3D pieces. Simba, I can't play rated. You always keep challenging me to rated, dude, but I don't play rated on my stream. You don't seem to understand. I just declined your challenge because it's rated, and you challenged me to rate it again. I don't play rated, and I told you I don't like bullet. And you know, so we only play like 5+3 casual. All right, knight d3. I lost enough rating points to you last week or whenever. So knight d3. It's a game. It looks about equal chances. His knight on a4 is good, but it's also kind of a target, you know, to like being attacked along the a file, one suspects. What if I would play rook c1 here? I mean, my plan was to play f5. Now I feel like he's distracting me from my true plan. Huh. Maybe we should just continue with plan. Could get kind of tactical if he starts combating me, like take knight e7, knight d4, rook c4, rook f4. I'm barely holding my stuff together. The other plan I considered was rook c1. That looks awkward though, and it feels like I'm playing on the wrong side of the board. I should be like pursuing my own threats on the king side rather than reacting to him. Just a question of how many games I can play. You know, the 5+3. I've got no more subscribers. Simba asked if he could play next. He was challenging and then re-challenge, so I'll probably play him next. 5+3, unrated. Okay, knight b8 looks... It looks slow, but what am I gonna do? Okay, he's gonna play like knight c5 at some point. I was thinking about rook ae1. I'm just not sure how much use it really has. Usage. How much this really helps me. I can defend my c-pawn laterally, and I can protect the e-pawn. And just, we're trying to like break through along the f-file in a utopia situation here. But it's not so easy. Looks like we're a little bit better. He's got to think about things like knight c5 maybe. Just trying to trade pieces. Oh my god, I just dropped my c-pawn. Why didn't somebody warn me? I knew there was a reason why I wanted to play. He's sitting there like, what? Thinking like, what am I doing? You know, oh my god, what kind of sacrifice is this? I just dropped the pawn. Maybe it was a brilliancy. Oh man, that's ridiculous. Now I just pray that I have some kind of compensation here. I mean, this was not what I intended. I forgot it was just even hanging. All right. Unfortunately, all right, we'll try to take the file, I guess. I don't know. Does this do anything? Doesn't do anything. Damn. Right, the g-pawn's hanging all the time inconveniently. I dropped a second pawn. Just hanging on my pawns. Man, that's ridiculous. H3 is just ridiculous. Sorry, I got a little flustered here. Just dropped all my material. don't think I have any compensation. Some cheap threats in the back rank. Sorry guys, this was silly. He has a defense to that too. This is like hopeless. I'm just lost here. Now I'm not sure what's going on. He blundered mate. Alright, man. Sorry, that was just appalling. We had a good game until I dropped the c2 pawn. I thought white was slightly better. Alright, let's see what's really going on here. No, I thought this was close. Says you're slightly better. I really didn't think you were better. Wow. Why don't I play like rook f2 or something? This is a very strong move, knight b8 by black in this position. I guess I anticipated this instead. And then knight d4, rook c4, rook f4. This is what I was looking at. That's even stronger. Because now you have g5, which I didn't see. Oh my god. So black was slightly better. Alright. We'll play FM Simba. Casual game. Tomorrow we're going to play 7+2. Tomorrow blitz tournament. Or, you know, rapid tournament. What am I doing here? Playing the Karo Khan. Simba said he had to go, so we're accommodating. He's like a bullet player. He's playing bullet in 5 minutes. Mostly just bullet. Not my thing, man. I like to play real chess. Alright. I think the chess is getting to be a joke, like faster and faster, ultra bullet and tournaments being like 90 minutes with a 15 minute second time control. I just think the way the chess is going, the quality of games like 50 years ago is better than they are now, which is kind of a scary thing. So I don't think that Maurice Ashley and his whole strategy of making chess popular with 15-minute chess is the right direction for chess to go, you know. If you look at the average games from the Soviet Championship, they're probably higher quality than from 50 years ago. They're probably higher quality than now. Even from the 80s, I mean, it seems like Grandmaster games were better quality than today. We've got to slow chess down, or at least stop it from getting faster and faster. The fact that World Championship was decided on a rapid tiebreak, obviously it's ridiculous. I mean, but the whole match was... Okay, that's another question. The match should be more games, dude. It's absurd to have a World Championship match where like it's 12 games. So essentially like one player wins one game and like that sets the precedence for the whole match. A match shouldn't be decided by like one game. Magnus Carlsen almost lost the World Championship to a player who's not even close to him because he happened to lose one random game and then had to get lucky to even maintain the World Championship. It's just totally random. I mean, it's scary to think that Magnus almost lost the World Championship to Karyakin, who's not even in like the top 10 in the world now. I mean, put aside things like the FIDE knockout world championship and stuff like that. That doesn't even count. Okay, now knight takes e4, queen takes e4, knight f6 isn't forced, but I think I've played this before. a4 now. In a tournament, it feels like a sixth game is a bit much with possible a double round at a day. Aculian. 2 games ahead, yeah. I played a3, fixing the pawns on dark squares, which is pretty unusual in this kind of line. I don't ever see people doing that, usually. I mean, it makes some sense, but it's not usual I see that reaction. But I mean, a world championship match should be like 24 games, you know, like in the old days. I mean, then it's about like who's really the better player. It's not like, oh, I got lucky this one game. Let's make it exciting for the chess fans. It's not a rapid tournament. It's not. It's a world championship. So have some respect for it, you know, Kirsan and whoever is listening. Kirsan, I'm an alien. Listen to me. Am I supposed to go here? And my queen is pretty menacing on this diagonal. I don't know if he should avoid trading queens there. But white might still have a very small edge here. I wonder, at least that pawn's on a white square, which is hard for him. He can't attack it with his bishop. That's good. Queenside castles allows knight e5, which is bad. I just realized I could play knight to d6 here, but he has knight e5. I think the rook d8 makes some sense. The rook d8. You're downloading the lichess app. Good idea. Rook h4. Now I have seen f5 played in the likes of these kind of positions by Paschall, my resident countryman grandmaster. It's just that f5 is kind of weakening sometimes, you know. I'm not sure that's the move we really want to play, but it can be useful. It also weakens g6 though pretty severely. I'd rather not say I did. You know, I could have gone to d6 again in that position. No, Simba seems really strong for someone who's rated like 2153. He's got the 2153 rating. It's kind of like, why is your rating so low? All right. But everybody knows this line of the Caro-Kann. I mean, I wouldn't trust myself to play black against a 7-year-old in this line in a tournament game. They know like 30 moves of theory. The average little kid. This changes this situation a little bit now. 95. I feel like I played a bit too passively in this game. But first of all, maybe bishop e7. We'll put this under surveillance. I want to kick him back. I don't like how active this rook is on h4. Yeah, the best move. playing really well. Now if knight, I wonder if I play knight d7, he's just going to hammer me with f4. Bishop d6, f4. And knight back to e4 is kind of interesting. Try to like use that outpost permanently. I could have played, no, I can't play b5. I was thinking this is sometimes an idea, but I don't have it. Or did I? Well, I definitely didn't have it with my bishop on e7. I might have it now. f3 was a really cautious move by white. b5. Knight takes c6, rook c8. d5. We're trying to undermine the white squares. It's actually a fairly common Caro-Kann strategy. My bishop on e7 still might have worked, actually, because when I take on c4, it's pretty complicated tactically. He took on b5. I was expecting him to take the other way on c6 first. That knight's got to go. Once I lost an ending like this with like knight, I remember that, knight against bad bishop. It's got to go. It's just a question of when. Should I castle? Should I put my king on d7? I don't know. I could have put my king on d7. I'm not sure. Castling seems far away from the center. I ended up losing an ending in a position like this once here on the stream because my king got sort of corralled so that it wasn't in the game. This is an incredibly long 5+3 game. Okay, so I don't think I'm really better here. On paper it might look that way, but now he's starting to double. So if I take on b4, he checks me, I go back, and something like rook a7. And I'm very, very passively placed. Now I think I have to try to break his pawns up somehow with f6. Maybe it's even safer to take with the king, I'm not sure here. I think white's still okay in this position. Really defended well. As I said, I don't know. I don't want that h6 pawn to become a target. Man, he's defending this flawlessly. I just think it's equal. I don't know. I don't know how to win. It was the wrong rook. I moved the wrong rook there. Whoa. Nah, you just tried too hard to win. I definitely have a headache after this game. Guess I could play a2 there. I offered a draw. I mean, I think it was like a draw position. But maybe I was even better there. I'm not sure. Probably not. Let's see. This is the point where I guess I offered a draw around here. He played for a win with rook d6. Then I blundered. Here I moved the wrong rook. I guess it's not a big deal though. I'm still holding. Anyways, alright man, it seems like it was probably a draw. Rabid is next. Ara Knight, Civil Engineer, Aculian. Rabid is white. He played a weird opening against me a couple weeks ago, like g4. C4 and G4. I thought that was fun. What's going on, man? Why is he clicking analysis board? But I thought that Simba could have played knight takes c6, rook c8, c takes b5, knight d5. I'm not even sure if that was even sound, what I did there. It might have been a miscalculation. I have to go back and look at the game later. But I wouldn't play the Caro-Kann against anyone if I was planning on trying to win the game. If it was a tournament game, you just can't play the Caro-Kann for a win unless you're trying to goad a really aggressive player into trying to beat you. Caro-Kann has to be reserved for trying to draw against strong players. I don't know why. I've always tried to play the Caro-Kann, never with good results. Just as something different from the Sicilian. Knight f3 here, not very commonly played for some reason. Although I don't know why. that's the case. I mean, bishop b4. It's much more common to see knight e2 in this position. Sometimes g3. Obviously, white can play d4, but if they wanted to play d4, they would usually play that straight up. So bishop b4. Bishop d3 is a move. Queen c2 is a move. d3 is a move. Does the job of defending the pawn, right? So what's wrong with d3 anyway? I guess there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just a reasonable move. I'm playing knight e7 so I can break with f5. I want to try to get some pressure on the position quickly. English defense style. Bishop takes c3, queen takes c3 is even possible there. I certainly can't win a pawn. It's a fairly fast time control to 5+3. Sometimes I kind of get confused. Wow, is this a pawn sack? Or you're just gonna take the doubled pawns? How do I develop my knight in this position? Knight a6 is interesting. But I feel like now with my bishop on b4, I'm committed to making this exchange. The bishop has nowhere to go. Now the pin is broken, so he's sacking a pawn. I don't have to take it. We could try just to develop our pieces. He's going to have some compensation if I take the pawn, no doubt. Nothing devastating. I feel like I ought to take it. I mean, a pawn is a pawn. It also pressures the diagonal. I've got something on the F file, a little something. I'd rather take this pawn with a knight right about now on e4, get my other pieces in the game, but there was no time. Anyway, a creative pawn sacrifice by Orbitich, and I agree he has compensation. He has the bishop pair and really compact position with chances on the long diagonal. Black has to probably defend pretty well here, not to let white have a strong initiative. Someone mentioning c5. Huh. This bishop might have a new home on this diagonal. Maybe we'll just snuggle in there on the h7 square and try to protect my king side. Anyways, rook d1. I actually was a little worried about b4, b5 there. Sometimes I might have tactics. h6. a5. Do we have time for a5? Is it a good move? I think it's a good move. But he has time for what? Queen d2? Doesn't do anything, does it? Alright. I just don't like b4 being allowed. Then we'll get on with the business of getting out of this pin along with the d-file. Queen e8 is obviously the plan. There are other plans. I guess you could theoretically play like queen c8 and come out there. I can always play d6 if I have to. If he plays like queen d2, I can just move the pawn up. It's not that bad. So although I think white has compensation, I don't think that he's better. I think it's just like he's a pawn down, but he has play for it. It's a kind of balance. Black's a little bit passive. Alright guys, I'm finishing at 12:30 today. We'll be back tomorrow night with a viewer tournament, 7+2 Rabid chess. Rabids. Played a3. Well, I mean, I might as well play a4 at this point. Guess it's not absolutely necessary, huh? Queen e8, b4. I get the a file. This could be beneficial. Rook a5 like ideas. Okay, what's he threatening? Well, he's extending the diagonal of his bishop, I guess. He's not really threatening anything. If I take, he takes back. I play rook a5. Or not. You have other types of rook moves. Or just d6. But they all kind of weaken my structure a little bit. There's the ultra solid bishop d5. Just hunkering down like... I mean, I feel like white is struggling to prove that he has the compensation. Gonna run out of time here soon. Queen c1's an excellent move. Of course, he didn't have a lot of options. Still, he has some compensation. Knight d4, knight takes d4, rook takes d4, maybe bishop c6. And we're still up a pawn. White has some play. We have other moves too. Bishop d5. Not a lot of time to think about it. Just busy trying to keep everything protected. I feel like I'm playing the French defense. back. Damn, I have no time. 0. He just keeps finding like irritating move after irritating move. Yeah, other than that, he was doing good. Rook takes e5 is like, what? Equal. Complicated game. Yeah, he's even slightly better. I mean, here it's like my king is like a little less, you know, covered. It's probably a draw. All right, good game. Last 2 games for today, guys, are Knight and Aculian. It's good we've got a lot of 5+3 challenges. The games, we can play more games that way. I want to thank you guys who have subscribed to the stream. Last 2 games for today. That was just too complicated. Too many things that were going on. To say, you know, what happened? He aborted the game. How could you play e4 against me? He's taking requests. All right. Giving me the white pieces. So we had a couple of English defenses. English attack, English defense. I think I need to get glasses. I'm getting like really, really bad eye strain. I never had this problem before, but actually, I don't know for sure that our knight even plays the... Okay, he doesn't even play the Najdorf. I'm talking like everybody plays the Najdorf, it seems like. I'm not too well prepared in the dragon. So I'll just wimp out here. Play some positional chess. Is it my turn? I think there's a lag or something. It's my move again? Oh, it's weird. I thought there was like lag. Did you look at a6, knight a6, a5? Of course. I just didn't think I had time for that, Arsenal fan. But my knight's getting tangled up. I mean, that's something I've done in other games. Knight a5, you know, a5, knight a6, knight c5. It's absolutely like one of the best plans for black. It's just a matter of timing. If I have time to do it or not. Or a knight, I don't remember if I have played the white side of a dragon before. But I just played this because I don't know, it's been 15 years since I looked at the white side of the Yugoslav attack, and my theory is kind of not up to speed. So that's another situation where, I mean, I think every 7-year-old kid knows, like, at least here in Hungary, probably in the United States as well, every 7-year-old kid knows like 30 moves of theory in the dragon and probably the main line of the Caro-Kann and the Spanish, and that's about it. If you avoid those, you're probably okay against 7-year-old kids. Alright, a6, now f4. a6 is not the main line. I mean, I think the main line is bishop e6. Oh, I did do this. Well, I only won 1 game against you, it looks like. Probably was this line. Oddly enough. But I guess that a6 and b5 is a variation. Pretty much everything is, huh? Sometimes people just go like b6 and bishop b7. Sergei Kudrin, for example, likes to play like those sort of setups. Kudrin is not a super high-rated GM, but he's a really good theoretician in the Grunfeld and Dragon. Just not that many Dragon players, you know, grandmasters out there who really know the Dragon. Not an easy opening to play for black at the high level. It's okay for beating like 2200s, but grandmasters who play the Dragon are fairly rare because they, you know, they don't. It's hard to play like the main line of the Dragon against other top grandmasters. All right, so bishop b7 now. We could go e5. No. Is b4 a threat for black? I don't feel like b4 should be a threat. I'm also not sure though. I might have played a3 at some point in this line. But king h1 is obviously probably mandatory at some point for white to play that move. But if you need to play something that's not overly crazy with the white pieces, I think this line is good. Most of the lines of the classical variation, like bishop e3, I don't think are very great for white. I might have played king h1 once on move 9. That's another line. But it seems like the bishop g5 line is the best. If you want to play the classical Dragon, knight b3 and bishop g5. Now I think rook b1 is theory. We just can't give away the b2 pawn for nothing. I'll just note that like the few times that I played the black side of the Dragon, not few times because I do play it in the accelerated Dragon. When I've played the black side of the Dragon, there have been a few players who played this line against me and I always felt very uncomfortable. Roland Schmaltz, Mohamed Al-Madiaki in Blitz. I don't think I've had the bishop g5 line in a tournament game with black. Maybe once years ago. Is what? Okay, so knight c5 now. What can I do? Queen e1 is kind of interesting. Also c3 is a normal move. Sure, I need to play c3 here with the dark squared bishops off the board though. Alright, what's really going on here? He will try to kick my knight out with e6, right, at some point. Maybe I could... You could play f5, maybe. White's got to be a little bit better here. I was looking at queen e1. There's something I didn't like about that. Maybe queen d2. Queen d2. Just looking at the dark squares. I mean, I think that white has some kind of itty-bitty advantage here. It's nothing special. It's very unusual what he did with bishop f6, trying to trade bishops. Black trying to trade bishops. Most Dragon players would not do that. They they usually value their dragon bishop a lot. So 99 out of 100 dragon players would never play bishop f6. I'm not saying it's a bad move. It's just it's not a move that, like, stylistically people who play this opening normally are willing to play. I guess I could have played queen c3 check there. Not sure how good that is. This is starting to look pretty interesting for white. f5 is obviously extremely interesting, but then knight e5, and if I don't have a mate, then I've got nothing. I was thinking maybe clamping on the queen side here with b4. We got to use everything in our power. Basically a positional system. You got to be willing to play on both sides of the board in the center. It's a little more pleasant for white. And we could have pressure down the A file, like in the end games. That pawn on A6 could become a liability. C3 will negate any kind of play he has along the C file. Now we just try to slowly squeeze him. F5 radically weakening the king side now. Wow. Do I have anything here tactically? That opens up my bishop on F3. It's like a terror. The artist formerly known as a very bad piece becomes kind of a monster. If he gets time to play e5 and my bishop gets shut down, then I'll be sorry. Actually, g4. g4 is a huge break. But I'm gonna pass. Maybe I'm playing too cautiously here. Obviously we can sack a piece, but not sure if it's enough. I think he might have had something there. I guess not. All right. It's just difficult for black. All right, guys, last game for today. Aculian. New opponent, played in our simul the other day. Slipping down here. Can white win a pawn with knight b4? Didn't even enter my mind, but you know, that is possible. The Slav defense. Aculian. New opponent. Who was playing g6 lately? I'm going to try something different. I mean, I really am bored of playing c takes d here. But objectively, it is really hard to get an edge against the Schlechter Slav. Period. I think the theory here is pretty extensive. I'm not sure if like knight b6 is the main move there. I don't know. Queen c7. Black is playing for e5. I guess I can play like a3 and retreat my bishop back to a2. Really know what else to do here. And then play IQP. Because symmetrical pawn structure doesn't look very fun. This player has an insanely high bullet rating. I wonder if this is the player we've played under a different account. Just the insane bullet rating. Apparently an expert in the Schlechter Slav. Well, one would imagine like black puts the bishop on f5 here, I guess. Need to develop the rest of my pieces. This looks very systematic for black. Extremely solid. This is a brand new account. Aculian, have you played us under a different account, or you're just new to lichess? Curious. There's a lot of people who like create a new account every other day. If you're someone that we know, let me know. All right. I really thought he might play bishop h8 there. but it looks like black is just playing super solidly. I don't know. It's obviously about equal. We don't have too much. I could be slightly worse, I guess, theoretically. But I don't have much time. Anyway, guys, this is the last game for today. I'm out of here. Tomorrow night we're going to play a viewer tournament, 7+2. Objectively, it's about equal, I guess. Maybe I should take and put my rook on the 7th rank. There's a problem with c5, though. Sometimes it's better not to let yourself get tied down to the weakness. This is obviously an extremely strong player based on his bullet rating. This is not a relevant rating. I mean, 15 games is statistically not relevant. So okay, draw. I think black's a tiny bit better here. After rook takes d4, rook c1 check, king h2, rook d2. But I guess it's nothing. Probably really a draw. Rook takes d4, rook c1 check, king h2, rook c2. I was thinking maybe even b4, but maybe that's not good. I have to play this. Yeah, this should be a draw. I guess king g3. All right, guys. Black here, 0.1 better. Anyway, we're gonna finish the stream up. I will be back tomorrow night with blitz and classical chess. Sorry, rapid chess tournament here on lichess. 7+2 tomorrow night at 7 p.m. CET. Thanks everyone for joining and playing, and thanks to Soltigo wasn't here today. I want to say thank you, but he's not here. Yeah, I can't expect a guy to be here every day. Anyway, guys, we'll thank him anyway. Thanks, Soltigo, for your help with the stream, even though you weren't here today. He's done a lot to improve the move bot and stuff. I will be back tomorrow night. So that's it. Thanks for subscribing, and also check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, where I do upload all the streams from here. Good games today. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Bye-bye.